Hello everyone, myself Dr. Murali, Associate Professor of Civil Engineering Department at Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. Now I am going to discuss about the topic called SQL. SQL is nothing but structured query language. So here in today's video we are going to discuss about the few topics like what is database, and the second topic we are going to discuss database schema design, how to design the schema of this database, and third one is concept of keys, and fourth one is types of relationships, and the fifth topic we are going to discuss about data warehouses and how to set up this big query of this database, and finally we are going to discuss about introduction to SQL and what are the types of the structured query languages. So first of all, coming to this database. So database is nothing but a collection of tables, and also we call it as a container of these tables or data. So collection of databases or collection of tables is nothing but it consists of a columns as well rows. So let us say I am considering this is one table having a column C1, C2, C3 and C4, and rows I am considering R1, R2, R3, R4 and so on. So this is the I am considering table 1. In similar way, I am taking another table having a same kind of columns and rows, but maybe equal or not equal. So here also I am considering C1, C2, C3 and C4, C5 and so on, and R1, R2, R3, R4 and so on. So similarly another table, this table I am taking considering it as a T2, and the third table I am taking here, that is C1, C2, C3, C4 and so on, and R1, R2, R3 and so on. If you observe, this database is in terms of only rows and columns. So just I am talking about structured query language. It is nothing but your data in the form of only structure format. So next we are going to talk about the database management system. Already we know what is database. It's a called collection of tables. Now we are going to talk about this management system. Management system is nothing but perform operations on top of these tables. We have to perform certain kind of things, like for example on this table we have a columns and rows C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5, and R1, R2, R3 and R4 and so on. Now already this is the existing table. On this table we have to perform certain operations called, first we have to create. So for example, if you want to create any additional column, so you have to create this additional column for the existing column. For example, you want to remove some data, so existing data if you are having, if you want to remove some data, you have to remove data from this database or table, so by using this remove operation. So for example, delete, if you want to delete certain data or certain columns, you have to delete on this table. So update, so for example, if you want to update certain data to this table, you have to update the data also, it can be possible. Truncate is also kind of delete. So the performance kind, coming to the performance wise, remove and truncate both are perform same kind of operations it is performing. Next, insert. For example, if you want to insert any row or column in the middle of this table, you have to use this insert operations. So this is what database management perform operations on the top of tables is called database management system. Now in industry normally we call it as a RDBMS. What is RDBMS is nothing but relation database management system. and also we call it as a SQL database. In industry, normally the people we call it as a relation database management system, or we can call it as a SQL database management system. SQL database, the both the names are same. So coming to here, various industries, they are using their separate DBs databases. So like in market there are a few databases are available on top of, if you see Oracle database, one of the topmost database, and next one I think most of the people heard about this MySQL database, and another one Postgres, and next one is SQLite, and next one Microsoft SQL. So these are all the databases which are used by industry to perform their operations according to their requirement. So these are all comes under RDBMS, is nothing but relational database management system, which are structured databases. These are all structured databases. So now coming to the NoSQL or unstructured databases. So this is very familiar. After this huge recession in 2009, there are a lot of startup companies come into picture. So we know Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Netflix, and also Snapchat. These are all various lot of in the coming into the picture. So these are all comes under unstructured data. Why these are all comes under unstructured data means the data is in terms of images, videos, audio, PDF, text. But SQL, we just now discussed about, SQL is only in the form of tables, but unstructured data, it is in the form of images, videos, audios, text, PDF. So I think you people might be think that Facebook, Twitter, every day everyone is using, is nothing but the most of the people are using this unstructured data. So that in the market, maybe unstructured data is very familiar. We'll see the data in the market. If you see, for example, you are uploading, there is a timestamp of 1.1 minutes of video you are uploading into the YouTube. For example, there is another person, the same timestamp, he was also uploaded the video to onto the YouTube. So if you observe, the timestamp of both the videos are same, but coming to the data which is present in that video may be different. So that the data of this is different, this is also different, maybe in terms of images, or in terms of video, or in terms of audio, or in terms of text, anything. Maybe the timestamp may be the same, but the content which is present in that video might not be the same. So on this NoSQL database, there are certain databases are available in the market. That is, first one MongoDB, and the second one we are using Cosmos DB, and Reddish, DynamoDB, and Elasticsearch. So like SQL database we are having. So here also in NoSQL databases are available in the market. That is MongoDB, Cosmos, Redis, DynamoDB. Out of all these, I think most of the people very familiar about the MongoDB. So now we'll see the according to the rankings every month. DB engines, we have a site called www.dbengines. If you see, and if you see the scores of this database, which is how much it is scoring in the month of January 2025, the rankings, if you observe SQL database and NoSQL database, here the first we will consider top 10 database. If you observe the first one, Oracle database, which is comes under relational database. If you observe the score, it is around 1258. And the second database, if you observe, this is MySQL database. This is also a relational database. This is in top 2. And third one, Microsoft SQL Server. This is also relational kind of database. So this is scores around 798.55. And the fourth one, Postgres. This is also comes under relational database. And the fifth one, this is comes under document. So for the time being, you forget about the document, it is comes under NoSQL database. And the next one, Snowflake, this is also comes under relational database. And sixth one and seventh one, if you consider Redis, this is a NoSQL database. And eighth one, Elasticsearch, this is comes under the NoSQL database. And the ninth one is also again comes under the relational database management system. And 10th one also, it's also comes under relational database management system. Out of 10, if you consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 10, 7 databases are using SQL. Only 3 databases are NoSQL. Is nothing but present in the market. 70% of the industries, they are following SQL databases only. Only 30% of the databases industries are following this unstructured data NoSQL. Maybe in future it may be increasing, but right now around 70% the market is going to SQL. Is nothing but, so SQL having a still there is a lot of market. It maybe takes some times to reach saturation point. So next in the topic we call it a the second topic. Now we will discuss about the schema. This is the very important. Before we will work it on this SQL databases. So first of all, any SQL engineer, he has to understand the schema. So initially this is called, schema is nothing but blueprint of database. So any engineer, first he has to understood the what are the tables are available, what are the columns and what are the rows are available, and what is the relation between the one table to the another table. So that is the first primary thing we have to understand. So for example, if you see, we have a different tables we are having. This is, let us say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this indicates one table. So the title of this table is customer purchases. So if you consider this customer purchases, here in customer purchases we have a these are all called columns: product ID, vendor ID, market data, date, customer ID, quantity decimal, cost to customer per quantity decimal, transaction time. These are all called columns. So in this, if you consider product underscore ID, so in the at the end this there is a int. Int is nothing but integer. Here int is a data type. Nothing but, for example, if you consider a table, the first column product ID, it is integer column, and the second one is also vendor ID. This is also integer, and the third one market date. So it is in the form of, the data type is date. So the next one is customer ID. So customer ID, this is also in the data type is integer, and the next one is quantity decimal. So here this is the up to 2 decimals. Quantity decimal 16 comma 2 is nothing but the length is 16, and the decimals up to after point we have to go 2 decimals. So similar way we have a 7 columns we are having. So this is one table. Similarly, you have to understand the other tables also. First of all, that is the thing, you have to understand the schema. Okay,